Lena had always been drawn to old and forgotten things, dusty books, ancient trinkets, and the stories they carried. It was on one such treasure hunt through the winding streets of Eastvale that she stumbled upon a peculiar antique shop. The sign above the door was faded, the words barely legible, reflections of eternity. The shop's window was cluttered with odd objects, a brass telescope, a porcelain doll, and a cracked mirror. Inside, the air was thick with the scent of old wood and something metallic. An elderly man with a hunchback stood behind the counter, polishing a small clock. Looking for something special, he asked, his voice raspy but kind. "Just browsing," Lena replied, her eyes scanning the shelves. Her attention was quickly drawn to the mirror in the corner. Its frame was ornate, covered in delicate carvings of vines and stars. But the glass itself was fractured, the cracks creating an intricate web. "How much for the mirror?" she asked. The man's smile faltered. "That's not for sale." Lena tilted her head. "Why not?" He hesitated, then said, "It's not an ordinary mirror. It shows you the lives you could have lived." Intrigued, Lena stepped closer. "Can I try it?" The man sighed. "I'll warn you, what you see cannot be unseen, and tampering with those reflections can have consequences." Lena hesitated, but her curiosity won. "I'll be careful," she promised. The man handed her a small key. "Use this to unlock its frame. Only then will it show you its truths." Back in her apartment, Lena set the mirror on her desk. It looked ordinary enough, despite the intricate carvings and cracks. She inserted the key into a hidden slot on the side of the frame, and the glass shimmered, the cracks glowing faintly. Her own reflection vanished, replaced by a scene of a bustling city square. Lena gasped as she saw herself, but it wasn't quite her. This version of Lena was dressed in a sleek business suit, holding a briefcase, her face calm and composed. She looked like the CEO of a major company. "That could have been me?" Lena whispered. The scene shifted. Now, she saw herself in a lush green field, surrounded by children. She was laughing, her hair tied back in a messy bun. She looked happy, free, and fulfilled. The mirror showed more versions of her life. A celebrated artist in a grand gallery, a scientist presenting groundbreaking research, a nomad traveling the world. Each reflection tugged at her heart. These were lives she had never lived but somehow felt connected to. Then the mirror went dark. A voice echoed softly from its depths. "Which life do you desire most?" Lena stared at the darkened mirror, her mind racing. The voice repeated the question. "Which life do you desire most?" I don't know," Lena admitted. The glass shimmered again, and the reflections reappeared. The businesswoman, the artist, the traveler. They all stared back at her, their expressions almost pleading. "Choose wisely," the voice said. "Each life has its price." Lena's eyes settled on the reflection of her as an artist. It was a life she had always dreamed of, but never pursued, out of fear of failure. "I want that one," she said, pointing to the artist. The mirror pulsed with light, and the room around her seemed to dissolve. When the light faded, Lena found herself in a grand gallery. Paintings covered the walls, beautiful, vibrant works of art that bore her signature. A woman approached her, beaming. "Lena, your latest piece is a masterpiece. The critics are calling you a genius." Lena's heart swelled with pride. This was everything she had ever wanted. But as the days passed in her new life, she began to notice cracks in the perfection. Her schedule was relentless, leaving her exhausted. She felt isolated, unable to connect with the people around her. One night, as she sat in her studio, the mirror appeared before her again, its surface dark. "Is this truly the life you desired?" the voice asked. Lena hesitated, then whispered, "No." The mirror's light grew brighter, and Lena found herself back in her apartment, her original life restored. She sat on the floor, trembling. "What just happened?" The mirror spoke again. "Each life has its price. You have seen the cost of the life you thought you wanted. Will you choose again?" Lena stared at the reflections, each one now tinged with cracks. She realized that no life was perfect, Each came with its own struggles and sacrifices. "Why are you showing me this?" she asked. "To teach you," the voice replied. "Many yearn for what they do not have, believing it will bring them happiness. But happiness is not found in what could have been. It is found in the life you create." Lena's heart ached with the weight of the truth. "I want my own life," she said finally. "Not a reflection, not a possibility, just mine." The mirror's light dimmed, and her own reflection reappeared. "You have chosen wisely," the voice said. "Live your life, and let it be your masterpiece." In the days that followed, Lena felt a newfound sense of purpose. She stopped chasing what-ifs and began focusing on the present. She started painting again, not to become famous or admired, but because it brought her joy. She reconnected with old friends, spent more time with her family, and took small but meaningful steps toward her dreams. The mirror remained on her desk, its cracks no longer glowing. It was just a mirror now, but Lena knew the lessons it had taught her would stay forever. Whenever she felt doubt creeping in, she would look into the glass and remember the voice's words. "Happiness is not found in what could have been. It is found in the life you create." And with that, Lena began to truly live.